We are live, and this is the longest IPL ever. I'm telling you, Bikram, three of my friends have gotten married. They already killed their husband. Now they're in jail in Vietnam. Don't ask me why they're in Vietnam. At least they're not in Ukraine. Okay. Two of my best friends, close friends, not best friends, had their sex change and also become terrorists. How is that related? I do not know because they were female, they became male. They're not the same people who killed their husband. But also, don't just think because they were husband, both the other people were female. They could be male as well. It's an open world. It's a woke world. And one of my friend actually bought
Confusing
Twitter.
world.
One of my friend actually bought Twitter. Okay. I know
Oh,
people are saying Elon is not your friend, but things can change very quickly. Ask Mumbai Indians. Hit the shit. They used to win everything. Now they win everything at the bottom. Like it's this is the top, but you have to like invert your screen like this. Then what's gonna happen? Okay. Anyway, there's still three more matches to go, and feels like it's never ending before the playoffs start. But we can't wait anymore. So there's three of us giving our 3 cents. I know you can only see two because one person has already gone on errands for his parents-in-law. It's a true story. I'm not even making this up. And under normal circumstances, I would cut his salary, except I just realized I don't pay him any salary. So, well, it's just status quo. Anyway, we'll tell you who will win the IPL 2022 and why it will not be Gujarat Titans. Okay, everybody in Gujarat is very, very unhappy with me right now. But please, I am Gav, the wife beater, and they are Bikram, Lal, you cannot see. They have wives, but they don't beat her. It's just dark ages. That's what I'm saying. Next thing is they probably become woke. So anyway, it's time for the playoff scenarios because playoff hasn't started yet. So first scenario, Bikram, we might get Lal back if he's finished with the errands for his parents' law. Parents are already enough, now parents' law as well. That too in Canada, they showed up all the way there just to make him do errands. Okay, that's something. I mean, you gotta give them some credit. Okay, first is RR. As we speak right now, the match, at least the toss will happen before this live broadcast finishes. Rajasthan Royals is playing CSK at 7:30. A toss will happen in the next 10 odd minutes. Now, one scenario is if RR beats CSK, they will finish in top two. That means they get two chances to make the grand final. If RR loses, they will be playing the eliminator against DC or RCB. Now, considering both the scenarios, do you reckon Rajasthan Royals, who won the first ever IPL with Shane Warne, can do this again once more? Can they do it? What do you think? Both scenarios.
they can definitely do it because both orange cap and purple cap holders are in the same team. I know he's not the Chahal is not currently the purple cap owner, but this he has one more game, so he might as well become that. And then Josh Butler, although he has, as we have said again and again, that he has his form has come down a bit. But yeah, I mean, he has made so many runs, so he might come. It might be just a temporary lull, and he can just come back and smash his way into and
It's
considering
not Josh Butler. It's just Virat Kohli. Actually, he's just being in his spirit now. Josh Butler is back, and Virat Kohli has gone back to himself and started scoring. So it's just they're just trying to confuse us. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Go on.
no, so I think and I think if they qualify as the second team, I think there are high chances that they will go all the way because they just have been good. Yeah, I mean, apart from Josh Butler, we haven't seen many people contributing, but I think last couple of matches they have won without Josh Butler's contribution, and yeah, I just feel that they are in a good space. They have good bowling. They have good decent batting without Josh Butler. So yeah, certainly if they win this match against CSK, I think they can go all the way.
Okay, Ashwin has already tweeted on his Twitter account of millions and millions of followers that we just called their bowling good. He said, "If I am there, the bowling is already great. It could be like filled with has-beens, but if he's there, he's the person who takes wickets and he just and he runs and nobody runs after him. I'm the best, the best, I'm the best. And that's like the third wicket he had taken in 17 matches. That's how good he was. I mean, imagine if he was taking. And by the way, you said like also Hassan. I think it's all technicality on the economy. Both have 24 wickets, and he has a game to go. He will do everything to win this league. And Hassan Anga is most likely not going to qualify as you know, right?
Hmm.
And most likely going to have a difficult chance because if RR wins, they're going to have at least like 2 or 3 matches to go. So I really don't see, it
Yeah.
will be a very difficult situation how this guy is going to miss out. But then this is sport, anything is possible. So I think that was pretty positive from you, and I'm very positive about Rajasthan Royals as well. I'm backing them up. I'll get to that later. Let's talk about the next match, which is tomorrow, Mumbai Indians versus DC. One thing I really like about this IPL is always very lengthy and it can be boring at times. But none of the matches, even when they're playing CSK, CSK wants to win and Mumbai wants to win because they don't want to come last. They still want to make sure the other team
Right.
comes last, right?
Right.
Every match, apart from the very last match, which is SRH versus Punjab PBKS. I think that's the only relevant match now. But there will also be some relevance there. We'll find out when we get there. But let's talk about the match which is coming up tomorrow. That's MI versus DC. Now, if DC loses to MI, which is I'm calling the Mumbai idiots right now, RCB will qualify. Okay, for the playoffs. Do you reckon RCB in that scenario? First, in that scenario, if RCB does qualify because DC loses to MI, can replicate the intensity they showed in their final game against table toppers Gujarat Titans, because yesterday I think they were on fire. Like, and the luck was
Hmm.
on their side. Everything, even the third umpire, I remember, who gave Matthew Wade out. I mean, that guy needs to be shipped to the VAR booth in the EPL. That's how dumb this guy was. I mean, for heaven's sake, you can see it. I mean, I understand that the technology was like,
Technicality, yeah.
fluffed it, but you could see the angles, right? He didn't ask for the angles. It was so obvious. It was so stupid.
Yeah,
Now,
it's. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't criticize him because if he went with the technology, then also people will say shit, and if he didn't go with the technology, then
no,
also
it
people
was
say yeah,
it technology had flopped, right? He would have easily
yeah.
gone for a decision, and he just, because I'm telling you, if it was Gaffney, was those the Michael Goff, they would have gone for it. And in the very first, by the way, if you're watching it, in the very first, when the first angle came in, he felt something was weird. He asked them to, like, show them another angle, and then the director delayed, and he said, "Okay, okay, no problem. You just show me the hotspot or the key." Anyway, coming back to it, I'm just saying, do you think that
Yeah.
was just a flash in the pan intensity? Because I think Virat Kohli was about to burst. Like, I'm just happy opposite him was not Ashwin, because both guys would have just gone, like, they would have just burst out, like absolutely exploded on that pitch, right? Now, RCB, even if they qualify in this amazing scenario, because they've won 8 matches, although they have had bad losses, RCB will need to win 3 matches on the bounce to lift the first ever trophy of their life. And 3 straight wins isn't something RCB ever does, particularly in crunch matches. Can RCB finally win, Bikram, after 14 years of heartbreak, which was, at least including us, of at least 12 or 13 years of heartbreak? You've been living in Bangalore for almost a decade. So where is RCB?
I yeah I even if they qualify, I don't think they can win 3 matches because I we don't even know what happened to Harshal Patel because he might not be available, and if he's not available, then there's no this the death bowling just goes away because um Hazelwood is on and off, and he's not a death bowler. He's been doing a good job, but he's not a death bowler. And then you are left with Siraj and who was playing call yesterday.
Yep.
So there's no bowling. I mean, the bowling will go alright. And we have already seen that when Harshal was away for a couple of matches due to his sister's demise, and it's good that Virat Kohli came back and he was like spirited, and he reminded me of all those drunk uncles in parties, with like who is hugging everyone, who is like like shouting. so
Uh,
so I saw when Faf hit a four, he was like, "Yeah, come on, buddy, come on." So, but yeah, I think it'll be difficult. It will be difficult. I don't think they'll be able to win 3 matches, especially when Harshal is injured, and they have been on and off, and they have been very inconsistent. So it will be anyways difficult if they qualify, which I don't think they will, because I don't think DC will lose against Mumbai Indians.
All right. So right now, just while you were talking, I was checking on the internet, which is completely unreliable. But they're saying that he might not be fit, but they don't know yet, and they're saying like he might miss the
Huh.
next series or blah, blah. I'm just talking about the next match. This is the web. So when the webbing actually splits, right, they can actually fix it and can just come back. That's what they were hoping. So I'm not sure it's a big issue. I don't know what has happened there exactly. So we'll figure out. I mean, at the moment, we just like we're just talking too much. Anyway, we don't even know RCB will qualify. But
Yeah,
your point
exactly.
still remains extremely valid, because when Harshal Patel is not there, it's not that Hazelwood cannot bowl in the death. It's not that Siraj cannot bowl in the other people cannot bowl. It just completely throws everybody off, and it's like, this is my position, and suddenly you have to do
Right.
other things. And I think more and more matches are happening. People are figuring out Hazelwood a lot more. One thing we have always said, even remember, even long time ago when Hazelwood got spanked everywhere by Ben Stokes, England's new
Hmm.
captain, who at Headingley, I believe, when they won from nowhere. They were supposed to win, like last wicket was there, 150 runs to win, and he smashed him everywhere. Once you start smashing Hazelwood, right, he really doesn't
Yeah.
know what to do. Then he gets very
Hmm.
confused. And that's once
Hmm.
you have him confused, then you have it down and you finish him. So Hazelwood bowls that hard line. Most people are not able to hit it. But if you set yourself up right, say, okay, I know what you're doing, and now I'm going to spank you. And then you know that, okay, sometime now you're going to do right something different. You're going to do the shorter ball. You're going to bowl a full ball, or you're going to have this variation. I'm also setting up for myself. So that's what Bairstow did. That's what happened yesterday also. So I believe Harshal Patel is the most important cog, which will be important. But
Correct.
right now, let's not even talk about it. But yeah, I totally agree. But I really see, if RCB wins, it will be a miracle. It will be a miracle. It
Yeah.
just seems so difficult. I can't really visualize it, but I think I'm gonna just like die for a little bit if they do win. Like, yes,
I
after
mean,
all the
it,
stuff we have gone through as Manchester United and RCB supporters over the
yeah,
last
oh,
several years,
yeah.
over the last decade. So we deserve something, but let's not go there. You don't. There's nothing should be given. There's no privilege. They've done all right. And Virat Kohli yesterday, I mean, I was just laughing. Guy was just going completely mental, and which is beautiful in a way. Something in a very weird way, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, in the other scenario, Vikram, if DC does beat once great, now shit, MI, and qualifies for the playoffs, and DC is looking much better, do you reckon they can
Hmm.
win three matches? Because they'll also have to win three matches, lift the trophy for the first time ever for them as well. Because the question is, will Rishabh Pant, aka, we both agree, Captain Clueless, and the finals pressure will melt DC faster than ice cream melts in Delhi's 47-degree heat, because which is right now 47 in Delhi. I think there's I mean there's subtle differences, but I think DC is also the same. The pressure and
DC
everything,
is
and the
also the same.
captain, come on, man, Rishabh Pant, the guy has completely clueless. You can't imagine them also winning three matches on the trot.
Yeah,
And there'll be
exactly.
six
I
matches on the
can't.
trot, by the way, Bikram, because they won the last two.
Yeah.
They have to win this one, six matches on the trot. And if they do that, they totally deserve it.
I mean, yeah. If one of these teams win three matches on the trot, they deserve it. But again, I think both RCB and DC are on the same boat. In fact, I feel that DC is even more inconsistent, uh, and especially due to the captaincy, and bowling is also not that great. And I mean, I know Kuldeep bowled really well, and there are the couple of bowlers, but they are really. I think they are more inconsistent. Although RCB lost very heavily in couple of matches, but I think DC should have easily won some of the matches, uh, and yeah, I just it doesn't feel like a solid team, like like how we talk about RCB and feel that they might do something, or they might, you never know how they will turn up in the next match, and that's not a sign for a team who will win in eliminators. If you have to just win two matches, that is somewhat possible, but three matches, like, pushing it way too much. So yeah, I think both RCB and DC, I have the same opinion. I don't think they'll be able to win three matches on the trot.
All right, fair enough. That's what I'm saying. See, but if they do actually win all these three matches, and because at one time DC were five matches won, and they had six matches lost, right? Yes. So after that, they had to win all the three matches. If they win the next match, that means they won eight. They leapfrogged RCB on net run rate. Then they eventually win the eliminator. Then they win the semifinal. Then they win the final. I mean, then I'll give it to them definitely. But
Yeah.
right now, they will be winning not with because of Rishabh Pant, but in spite. If it happens, mark my words, if they win, it will be winning in spite, despite of this person being there who's completely clueless as a captain. As a talent, I'm not going to talk about it. Wicketkeeper is gone like miles ahead, but I think he's a joker. He's not a captain. So before I
and
move on, you
and
wanted to
I
say
think
something. It feels like I can feel you can want to say something.
No, I was just going to say, because this is the same scenario which happened last time also. In 2 years in row. Somehow DC, both RCB and DC qualified, and they both lost meekly against other teams. And I think DC was in the final also last time, if I remember correctly.
They were not
And
in the
they
final. They lost both their matches.
both
They
their
had double
matches, right,
chance.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly, they've lost both their matches, so it just feels, I mean, history also suggests that they won't be able to
They
do it.
finished top.
Yeah, they finished top, and then they had a better team. In fact, last time they had a better team. They had more better players. But yeah, it's just I just can't see. And Rishabh Pant, again, I completely agree that he may become a good captain in future, but right now it just, he's not made for captain. He's a free spirit, right? I've seen him make like so many, like he goes to toss and says, I want to bat. Oh, no, no, sorry, I want to bowl. Then he, like, sometimes he miscalculates the overs for his bowlers, and I think in one match Kuldeep didn't even bowl his full quota overs. So yeah, there is so many simple mistakes which he makes. And then that outburst happened when there was a incorrect decision, when Praveen Ambre stormed into the inside the ground. So all these things just suggest that he's not in control exactly.
Yeah, that was only done to tell people that Praveen Amre has once played for India and he's made a century on his debut, which nobody knows. Only I knew it. Now everybody knows it. Also because of our podcast. Also, by the way, before I move on to the next one, I'm going to call you out. I have to do it on your toxic positivity that you're saying Rishabh Pant will become a good captain in the future. I think there's more of a chance me
Toxic.
marrying Elon Musk and by association taking over Twitter and making it the most non-woke um platform on earth and become one of the greatest person and taking over Elon Musk and his legacy. That has a more chance than Rishabh Pant becoming a better captain. Okay, or a captain in the first. Let's even start with a captain. He's not a captain. It is only because, I mean, because India owns everything. Okay. All right, Vikram. Do you reckon table toppers Gujarat Titans will prefer to play in the qualifiers? Who will they prefer? Rajasthan Royals or LSG? Of course, like, it's pretty much a simple answer, but I'm just saying, like, I will obviously take LSG all day, every day, man, because GT have already thrashed them twice this season, and all GT needs to do is win the toss and bat first. KL, which they all anyway like. KL, while chasing, gets more nervous, I feel, than a high school nerd on a date with a blonde with big tits, because completely this guy is just lost, like completely lost. I don't know if you heard me play off Pandit. I already told everybody that you are on running errands for your in-laws, that too in Toronto. They came all the way there just to tell you, listen, buddy, we are still the boss. And I said, like, I told Vikram, I will stop paying him. But then I realized I don't pay you anyway. So I'm like, okay, status quo continues. So here we are.
Well,
And you came right when the GT started. We had not talked about Gujarat Titans, who have already changed their goddamn name from Ahmedabad to Gujarat. And I don't know how many things they've changed. But we gave them no chance. They finished at the top. The question right now I'm asking is, will they prefer? It's an easy question, so I'll let you or Vikram say, because I think they'll definitely prefer LSG, who are the chokers. And if you don't know, that whenever Lokesh KL plays second, when he plays second, he completely chokes. He has no clue, and his stats are like completely haywire. He's got 100 runs there, and I think 400 something there batting first, and similar amount of matches. It's completely clueless. Last time when I switched on television, he was on 4 runs of 16 deliveries. I was like, what is this? Rahul Dravid playing or what? Or Rahul KL Rahul is playing. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. So yeah, if you heard the question, so are you happy to play Rajasthan Royals or LSG? Because if Rajasthan Royals wins today, you will be playing Rajasthan Royals in the qualifier.
well, just on the first part, the true universal boss will always be the in-laws. So, anyways, putting that aside,
Dude,
so
Chris Gale is already tweeting against us.
yeah. So, anyways, so that's let's keep that aside now. That is settled. I think regarding GT, to me, like the Rajasthan Royals have been the most. I mean, on paper, they're the most balanced team in the IPL. Like on paper, they should be winning the IPL. Like literally, like I think they do have a couple of holes, but I think I would say GT should prefer LSG, playing LSG.
They've
I
beaten them
somehow,
twice already. They're
yeah,
chokers.
that's one. Second is like as you said, like chasing. Their record is like some very skewed. They're just like crazy. I don't know how that happens. but their record chasing is really
Nervous.
skewed. And thirdly, I just don't trust Rahul's captaincy. I mean,
I have
I
never
don't
heard
see
that
him.
before.
So yeah, because of all these reasons, I would say GT would be backing Rajasthan Royals to fail and then hopefully playing LSG in the playoffs.
Bikram, do
Yeah,
you
I
have
think
something to add on this thing, or we'll just move on? But just tell us something in the very quickly.
no, I was just thinking. LSG almost didn't make it, right? The last, I mean, because of that catch was taken. Rinku Singh's catch was taken. Otherwise, they would have lost, and they would have been at 16 points, and they would have been chewing their nails, saying, "What will happen now?" So yeah, I think definitely GT will take LSG any day over Rajasthan Royals.
All right, just fair enough. I'll just update you with the news if you have already don't know that CSK have won the toss and they have elected to bat first. So Rajasthan Royals will come second, and let's say if in the final match this guy can do something, the greatest player over the last few matches, Josh Butler, has completely gone off the boil. So the next question. So now that you're here, let's stick to GT only. Can the surprise table toppers GT go all the way and win the title? Now they have the advantage. They'll definitely, even if they lose, they still go play the semi-finals in Ahmedabad, and the final is also in Ahmedabad. So even if none of them ever have gone to Ahmedabad in the first place or Gujarat, that doesn't matter. But it's still GT, right? Now, Lal and Bikram, Hardik is used to winning big times. Yes, I just double checked. He has 7 seasons with Mumbai. He won 4 times in 15, 17, 19, and 20. That's a ridiculous record, right? I mean, compare with anything. With 7 seasons you had, you won 4 times. I'm surely concerned. Obviously, the finals pressure is always there. This is the first time, and Pandya's nerves when the chips are down. The last match, that with the way he was behaving against RCB, I was just like I was not very convinced with this guy. We have never been convinced, but when the chips are down, I just feel he just in the press conference he comes out okay, but in within the heat of the moment, I'm not very curious. But again, it's his first time. We'll soon find out what Pandya and GT are made of. I personally feel whatever happens now, they should be really proud and really happy with like they just finished at the top. I mean, they had a bad auction. They had all over the place. People are making fun. They bought Tevatia for 8, whatever CR. Pandya was like, we have made fun of him. We didn't know if he was all rounder, what kind of all rounder he is. But they won 10 matches. They are like, even losing the last match, they're still at the top. I mean, you have to give it to them. But the point is that do you think they can make it all the way? And what will stop them? I think it's Pandya. And I think they will eventually realize that they're actually not that good.
Maybe Bikram can add to this, but what I think is, I mean, on paper they should. It reminds me of the Leicester season. It till the last, even when they were one match away from the title, people were like saying cannot happen. It is just not possible. I know this is not as improbable as that, but it just reminds me of that because you will never be 100% believing that this team will win even when they are in the final. You might say that, oh, like, this is the final hurdle where they'll choke. So I just think that the confidence is such high and it's sky high, and it confidence is a very underrated thing in sport. um, and I think sometimes confidence just carries you, that momentum. People talk about momentum and confidence. Like, I think that's what this team is riding on, and I won't be surprised if it takes them all the way through, because see, they don't have like one big, like, I know apart from Rashid Khan, they don't have one like marquee player, like who is carrying them along. Like, for example, LSG, you know that if Rahul fails, then the team is gone. Like, barring the last match where Quinton de Kock played crazy, if Rahul goes, then the team will crumble. With
Shubman Gill.
Gujarat, you've had so many different heroes. In like, Miller won couple of
Mhm.
matches, Rashid Khan won 3-4 matches, Tevatia won
Shubman
one or
Gill.
two matches, Shubman Gill, Hardik Pandya contributed early in the tournament. So they
Saha is
have
playing
different.
well.
Yeah, so they have different people, like, putting their hand up, and that augurs well to me. Like, they have 6, 7, 8 match winners who've won them matches so far in the tournament, which is like, unlike, not many teams can boast of that. It's one or two players doing the magic for most of the teams. So I won't be surprised if they go all the way through. and win the title. And you're right. And Hardik Pandya then has to be in the Hall of Fame whenever 20 years down the line when they look back and nominate people for Hall of Fame. 7 seasons, 4 titles is insane. And then first season as captain, and if he wins it, you have to be like one of the top like Hall of Famers, right? It's just insane. It'll be like a story, and I think Mukesh Ambani would be like firing people who who let Hardik Pandya go. But yeah, that's the story this
So,
week.
couple of things I'll add on this, and I'll give it to Bikram. Obviously, the first thing I think you said they only have one marquee player, and you did not say Pandya. So, if your house in Junagadh gets burned, gets arsoned, you know what has happened. You had it coming. Okay. And the other
Well,
serious thing, this is also serious. So I don't want to say like I'm not serious. This was serious. Another serious thing is I always say two things are very important. It's not talent. All these people have talent. That's why they're there. Talent and temperament. And the third thing is form. And form comes and form you talk about confidence. When you have good form, because of that you get confidence. You never are in confidence when you don't have form. And that Virat Kohli is the greatest example. You can be the greatest player on earth, but if you don't have form, you don't have confidence. Simple as that. It's the last score that you have not done. So you're right. I feel like talent wise, I wasn't very sure, but confidence is very high because they've won a lot of matches. Again, I'm not sure how much the last match would have dented their confidence. It will definitely they would have rather won it, but again, that's not the end of the story because last season Chennai did not win the last I think 2 or 3 matches. I think 3 matches on the trot. But then Chennai's captain is different. I I just want to see the temperament right now in the final 2 matches, and Pandya will play a big role in this by just holding his own horses and letting them play. Because Tevati hasn't come good in the last couple of matches. Saha has got some niggle. I guess he didn't come out to with the gloves because Wade was with the gloves. I don't really have much bad to say about them. If they don't win, they're still pretty good. I just hope they don't choke because this is T20 is the most fickle. Vikram always says the most fickle form of cricket. Anybody can win as long as they don't choke, as long as they don't do what DC and RCB is doing from the last since the mankind. Okay, was this since agriculture was invented? So Bikram, more on that, please, on GT, and what is
I
the
think
reason they'll win and what is the reason they won't win, or whatever you want to say.
I think they should win it because if you look at the other teams, and I think it will also depend upon today's result between RR and CSK. If RR reaches second position, then it will become a bit difficult. But even then, if you see, even if they lose to RR, they will play against what DC or LSG, which who are highly inconsistent, and or RCB, and then they can again have a chance in the final. So logically speaking, and then it's in Ahmedabad. Hardik Pandya is from Gujarat, so he would have some
He's not
knowledge
from Gujarat,
about
from
Ahmedabad.
Bombay.
No, he's from Gujarat. He is
Is he
from
from
Gujarat.
Gujarat?
yeah,
How the
yeah,
hell do I
Yes.
he's
not know this? He's from Gujarat?
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was from Bombay. Okay.
That's why if you see his Hindi is weird. So and and it's so yeah. I'm just saying that if you go by the facts, like which teams will qualify, and since they are on top, and the finals are in Gujarat, so it just feels like it's just made for them to win it. So I don't see them not winning it. If some other team comes and stream rolls and wins it, good for them. But I just feel that this is for Gujarat. Gujarat will win this. Plus, it's Modi Leher.
All right, all right. So let's talk
Oh,
about a let's
oh,
talk about
big.
a team that we all love. Okay, LSG. Now, this is pretty much the final question for me. Now, LSG have finally qualified. If you remember, they lost 2 matches. They were on 8 wins, which is pretty much was going to put them through. But you can't keep losing. Then run rate can come into play as RCB just found out, which RCB need to learn run rate every single time, right? So LSG finally qualified in the last match when they beat KKR by 2 runs. They should have beaten them by 200 runs because they were like they made 210 for no loss. This guy Quinton de Kock made 140 of 70 deliveries, and eventually it was Lewis's blinder who actually had misjudged that catch. And then he suddenly threw his left arm forward and he caught that Rinku Singh, who was going completely mental. And then Stoinis, as they were saying, like he was not even blinking before he bowled the last delivery, and he bowled a Yorker. I think it was a slower ball Yorker, which smashed Umesh's stumps, and they eventually won by 2 runs. Man, when they were playing bloody Rinku Singh and Sunil Narayan, they all but killed KL's LSG. KL would have cried, peed his pants that time. And everybody talks about how cool Dhoni is, but I don't know if you've noticed over the years, Sunil Narine is the coolest ever. I don't know whatever he's smoking, but this bloke is like emotionless and Siberian monk. I mean, he hits sixes, he doesn't blink. And in the match, if you remember, he fielded one ball in the boundary line, and he's not a good fielder, right? Instead of like stopping it, he just grabbed it with one hand and threw it, and the entire stadium erupted. And he was just, the camera focused on his face. He was not, no reaction, nothing, didn't even blink, expressionless as a fucking dead body, man. I will really miss this guy in the playoff because he is special. Sunil Narine is completely special. Now, apart from my orgasms of thinking about Sunil Narayan, if RR beats CSK, now RR will finish second. LSG will play the eliminator. Now that is not a good situation for LSG. If that happens, I gotta say KL's LSG is absolute toast. Please give me your 2 cents in the situation. KL's LSG finishes second, and when they finish third, can you see them winning?
Go ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Vikram.
I mean,
No,
people, you behaving like Sunil Narayan. Please say something. I mean, LSG, show some support for these
yeah,
people.
I think if LSG finish third, then I think they might choke. Like I kind of get the vibes, whether it's DC, whether it's someone else. I think they might choke, and I mean KL is going to get beaten up by his quote unquote future father-in-law Sunil Shetty very soon, and he'll be gone.
It'll be orchestrated by
Uh,
Gautam Gambhir. He'll be sitting like this watching
yeah.
while he's getting beaten up.
Gautam Gambhir looks like he's going to punch KL very soon. Seriously, they might break into a brawl very soon. But yeah, I somehow feel that, I mean, they have done reasonably well. Like being a new franchise, like they've also done well. No, I'm not taking any credit away from them. It's just that they've not looked confident. Like I know we spoke about Gujarat as well. Somehow there's some different vibe that come out of, like, no matter how much you bash Pandya, whether you like him or not, he carries the team. He has this passion. He comes across as this confident guy, like who will do something. I somehow do struggle to read KL's body language, and somehow that translates into his bowlers, especially when he's fielding. When he's like batting, of course, when he's on song, he's a great player. But when he's in the field, I somehow don't see him. If the chips are down and the pressure of the qualifier eliminator is on him, I don't know how much he will be able to pick his team up. Like one over goes for 20, then suddenly will the panic buttons fly in? Like I just have my question marks about him. So it's very, very important for LSG to finish second to get two bites of the cherry, because they will need it when they are under pressure.
I think when you say that when the chips are down, the problem with like Hardik Pandya is the problem when the chips are down, we don't know. And right now, I'm not getting good signals. Plus, he has also just started captaining, so which is reasonable,
But
and they've done
just
very well.
yeah,
But
but
KL situation is when
just
the
to
chips are
add,
not even down. By the way, when he's winning, then he's panicking. That's the problem with KL.
yeah, and just to add to that, by the way, in the absence of when Pandya missed a couple of matches, Rashid Khan captain and like he won. So
I think
he
he's a
also
legend.
has a
Great 30-year-old player. I mean, sorry, officially 23.
yeah, he, by the way, Rashid Khan also is a leader and he's a captain, right? So I've somehow seen sometimes, like Rashid Khan chipping in when Pandya's not there, or like needs some advice. I think they those two guys like are really steering the ship for Gujarat. I somehow don't see who's that second in command for KL.
Yeah, completely agree. I think whatever happens, LSG will lose the next match. They somehow won the match against KKR. KKR is a team which is struggling, and and I don't know, like they have completely screwed up the batting order. Uh, what's his name? The guy who was bowling, Stoinis. He's not able to bat well. He's not able to bowl. They're
They
giving
don't
him.
let him bat.
So I mean, I don't know, like it just feels like RCB situation, like this RCB of 3-4 years back, when apart from ABD and Kohli, no one was able to score any runs, no one was able to do anything. It just feels like, and I was just thinking, I might be wrong, I have to check, but this is after 2016 when RCB qualified. After that, this is KL Rahul's first playoff, because after that he went to PBKs, right, which never qualified. I believe. So this will be his first playoff experience. So it just doesn't feel right. It's difficult. I don't see them progressing to the finals at all.
Bikram, be careful. Huh? If you see a bulldozer just run for your life, we are bashing Lucknow. Some bulldozers might come and like
I
break
mean,
our
not the
houses.
KL,
So
but Lucknow people are very capable of doing that. They'll just bulldoze you. Imagine the live podcast, your house gets bulldozed. That will be something. At least finally, our podcast will get popular. One of us has to die live on live television. That will happen. I mean, I have nothing more to add on KL's captaincy. He has already had a head start of 3 years. I think he was captain for at least 3 seasons, right?
yeah,
So, and he's captain a lot of places. He's a great batsman,
It's captain
mentally
for
very
India
weak,
also.
and that's the way it is. You can't change it. You can't change it. He is somebody who will probably can, like, he's the captain who can actually, like that day against KKR. How on earth did they let KKR score 208 runs on that damn pitch? It was
Yeah.
not a great pitch. The reason these guys scored 210 was because everybody went crazy, and that bugger was dropped at 12, and then he went crazy, and KL just played the sheet anchor role, and that's why, because they had no wickets lost. These guys should have never. Their opening batsman got out for zero, and the other guy who dropped, Quentin de Kock, the guy who was debuting, he made 4 runs
Yeah.
of 8 deliveries. Their swashbuckling player Dre Russ made like 5 of 11 deliveries or something. Then also these guys made 200. At the end, it was 3 runs required of 2 deliveries. That too, that crazy catch happened. I mean, KL was like, my goodness, man. I don't know what the hell KL was doing. His bowlers were like bowling like hit me deliveries after deliveries. Story's not a good bowler, I'm telling you. He should not be bowling there, but he's a good batsman. He needs to be given some time. He takes a little bit of time and then he smacks everything out of the park. They have been making him play like 6 down, 7 down. I think once he came number 8 also.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
just my brain was just fried. What is happening and why did they? And this is the person who was bought before the auction. So you don't buy people before the auction as a batsman and then make them play number 8. I mean, it's not even like Ashwin is team who's like bullying everybody and saying like I'm not going to let you go. So that would not happen. So I know you're from Bangalore, technically, Vikram. You're from Gujarat, so obviously going to chase. And I've always supported RCB. So final question is, who do you blokes want to win? What does your heart say apart from your allegiances to your city that you've been living for a long time or you were born in? I personally obviously want Royals to win. I like them. You said they were the very well balanced team. I love Shane Warne. I'm not going to use a past tense. I will always love him. I feel I really want Royals to win. But if Royals don't win, one good thing will happen. This will have a new champion, and this is the first time we'll have a new
mm,
champion since 2016 when Sunrisers won. So it will be good to have a new champion because sick of CSK and MI winning all the time. All the time. It's just nice,
yeah.
but it will be nice. I'm backing
Yeah,
Royals.
interesting you said that. So of course, like I mean, I in my heart I want GT to win, but I think interestingly for a long period of time, like I was supporting Mumbai, and then my second team was always Rajasthan, and I just fell in love with Rajasthan because of the first magical season where these like 19-year-old Ravinder Jadeja, Yusuf Pathan, all these guys like Shane Warne was leading them. All these like Shane Watson, like suddenly came. I mean, his career was dwindling. These team of misfits, like Shane Warne, just leading these guys, and they won that fairy tale season. And since then, I've always had soft corner for Rajasthan Royals, and unfortunately, every year they disappoint me after the first season. So I won't be too sad if they win. But I mean, I somehow right now I don't support them. Is I somehow don't like Sanju Samson, like his captaincy, and that's the only reason. Like they're not my number one team right now. But it wouldn't be the worst thing if they end up winning.
Yeah, of all the captains who don't deserve to be the captain, apart from Virat, sorry, not Virat Kohli, MSD and last season Owen Morgan. Me and Bikram, we've been talking about it. We also were not big fans of him, but monitoring more closely, I felt of all the other captains, there is something better about Samson. I just felt somewhere that something was better about him. And I think Graham Swan was very happy seeing that somebody else is also a great Rajasthan supporter, because if you've seen him in all those post match and other thing, he does comment. He works with the broadcasting
Yeah.
team, right? He is always super happy. He just wants Rajasthan Royals to win all the time. He keeps jumping, and he's always jumping in the last other season when they're doing nothing. So when they win 1 out of 4 matches, he's always happy. I wonder what he must be doing right now. So because I haven't been following him, but Graham Swan is always jumping. So Bikram, off to you. Apart from our RCB, which is our masochistic ways, has been there for the last 14 years. Can we this time support a team that actually can win something and not just because we are all three of us are Manchester United supporters and you and I are RCB supporters. So I don't know, somewhere we need to really have a hard look at our choices that we're making in our
Choice.
lives. Okay.
Yeah, I
And this
think
guy is a Rajasthan Royal supporter, so he also does need to make a lot of really introspect on the choices.
I think Rajasthan Royals. Uh, yeah, I mean, first choice I think will be Gujarat Titans, because we the world was against them and they just came out and proved everyone wrong. Everyone, I think themselves also. In fact, one time I think Hardik Pandya was saying that I'm afraid that we'll use up all our luck before the playoffs and we might not have enough luck for the playoffs. So somewhere they also know that they have overperformed. But yeah, I mean, I think they deserve to win if you go by the whole season, and so I think that'll be my first choice. And after that, if Rajasthan wins, I'll be more than happy. As you said, Lal. But apart from these two, I don't see others winning it, either RCB, DC, or LSG. I don't see all three of them actually going through and winning the whole tournament, the winning in the final. So yeah, I think I'm the same boat. Either it's GT or Rajasthan Royals.
By
I
the way,
just want to see great matches, man. I just want to see
one
great matches.
breaking
Go on.
news in the toss. Like I think MS said that he's going to play next year because he wants to say bye to Chennai fans. Like in Chennai,
Yeah,
it's
that's
unfair. And he said, like, who knows? 2 years. Then they asked, like, what about after that? Then he said, who knows? It's hard to predict these things. So he's going to play till 50, I guess.
yeah. I
Where
mean,
is
there's
Jadeja?
Oh,
What has
Jadeja is
happened to him?
screwed.
Has anybody seen him? Just because we are not China, people should be worried. I want US support on this thing. Where is he?
I think
I have
people,
not seen him.
I
Nobody's seen
think
him.
Gujarat GT should like put a bid on Jadeja and say like you're unhappy, like come back to your own like state Gujarat, like and make us stronger.
I
They
think
should
okay.
poach him.
So no,
Final
Jadeja is
words.
from not Gujarat. Jadeja is from Rajasthan, right? If I'm not
Is
wrong.
No,
everybody from Gujarat? How the hell do I not know all these
see,
things?
Hardik Pandya, the Pandya brothers play from Baroda,
Baroda, yeah.
and no, Jadeja is from Gujarat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's add one more question. Do you think CSK will release Jadeja next season?
Interesting. I
Talking to
don't think so.
release him. He's contracted. He needs to go
They've
himself.
paid
He needs to release
they've
No,
himself.
paid
they can
16 they've
they
paid
can
But
16
only
crores to
Raidu
him.
does those things. I release myself. I'm done. I'm finished.
no, teams can release players. I
No,
mean,
you can't
yeah,
release
that's.
players. That's the
I mean,
Bikram. You keep
it
saying this
has
to
to
me.
be.
You're the person who knows more about it. They've taken a 3 year contract, right? So
They
the
have taken
players
a
cannot
3 year
release them.
contract.
Players need to release themselves. They can't just ask the
Exactly.
players to go.
No, but
They'll
see,
stay.
that's what. No, that's what I'm saying. Because see, this is kind of a Reiner situation. Like this is kind of a mutual thing. If you follow, there was this Timal Mills was the Mumbai Indians came out with a statement saying that Timal Mills is injured, and then he tweeted saying that I'm not injured, and then later he deleted the tweet. So you can't go against the owner. So if they are releasing you, you can't just forcefully stay. So it's all mutual,
No, I'm
because
just saying you
you
have
have
to
to.
pay the money if you're gonna stay.
They
If
will
you're
pay
gonna
the
release
money.
somebody,
That's
they'll have to pay the money. It's like a Galadriel situation, right? You never get to play,
no,
but
no.
this is the basic economics. Once you sign a contract, then you sign the contract. You might never get to play, but Jadeja, highly unlikely. Can't rule it out. Can't rule it out.
What about
Weird things have happened to Jadeja this year. I mean, the guy is still ranked world #1 all rounder, and genuinely so, not some fake fucking all rounding shit. And now we don't even know where he is. I mean, within a span of 4 weeks, Guys completely got lost from Earth. That's how it happens. So any last word? I'll wrap this damn thing up because the match is about to start, I think, or it hasn't started. And CSK are batting. I hopefully Dhoni will come out to bat and open and with a longer hair, with a wig. He's like, I've just grown my hair, and I'm probably borrowing Jadeja's hair. And now that he's coming next year, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jadeja, anything is possible, and he might go to GT, but he'll cost a lot of money. I don't know how the money will come. I don't know how this thing works anymore. So yeah, you picked which team did you pick finally? I'm a bit confused. GT. You said I
GT,
want them to
GT,
win. Do you think GT
GT.
will win?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you want GT to win. Two
Yes,
questions. I
yes.
think I am backing Rajasthan Royals to win. I think they will win, and I want them to win. So both are same teams. Lal, for you was
For
you want
me,
GT to win, but you have a feeling that RR might win,
yes, I want GT to win, but I have a feeling that RR might win.
and you don't want RCB to win. Vikram, what is happening to you?
I don't want to say this again.
So you think GT will win, and you also want GT to win, both.
Yeah, I want GT to win. Yeah, both.
All right, fair enough.
Ooh, we
So
have
on
a
that note,
convert. We have a convert
we have
here.
we have
No,
a convert. We have
because
a
I can't say right now that RCB they are not even qualified. So I don't want to say that RCB should win and RCB would win.
we'll
They are
have
not
another
even qualified.
podcast. We can always
Yeah,
change. We're
we
politicians.
can always change. Yeah, we can always
We
change.
can always change. So, like, anyway, all right, fair enough. So, we can all go and watch the matches, or you can actually still run more errands and whatever it is. 7:30, the match is about to start. Live podcast. We'll just wrap it here.
Ooh.
I'm Gav, the real Sadguru. This guy is the Pandit. Everybody is like very sadhu. Bikram, the from the Bikram Yoga. He just had a lot of plastic surgery, so he doesn't look 77 years old that he's supposed to be.
Or is the
So,
yoga effect?
it's a yoga effect, obviously. And hopefully, in the last 45 minutes, we didn't make any sense because we try very hard not to make any sense. So, we want to make sure that stays. Please like and subscribe if you want and send us steroids so we can look like Sylvester Stallone when he looks like 75. He still looks so butch. I don't know where is he like. He's still training in all the meat houses that he does in the movies. So, Jai Jawan, Jai Pakistan. We are not from Pakistan. I know there's a green tinge here because Bikram like green. We can't help it. So, thank you for listening. Thank you. Take care. Take care next time.